at IPC. He is responsible to protect and promote quality standards, safety, and rational use of drugs. He has proved his ability to establish a robust system of pharmacovigilance program of India and has been recognized by WHO as a collaborating center. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Hope I'm
Sir, please.
Hope I'm audible
Yes,
to all of you. Good morning. Good morning. Great. Thanks a lot for this wonderful morning. And of course, I am very much thankful to the entire management, dean, principal, faculty members of Guru Gobind College of Pharmacy, Yamuna Nagar. It's a great pleasure for me as well to participate in this AICTE sponsored program that is called How to Plan an Experimental Research in Pharmaceutical Sciences or Pharmaceutical Sector. This is a topic which you have chosen for this training program. It's a great topic and really extremely important at this moment. The topic which you have selected. Really, we require to conduct this kind of training program so that young pharmacy professionals, they always have a lot of chance to learn and implement this kind of research activities. So this is a very good topic. I'm thankful to all of you for inviting me, and I feel privileged to be one amongst all of you for this training program. So I have a couple of slides. What is the scenario? Can I share my slides, or how to do that? Can we do that?
Yes, sir, you can share your slides.
Thanks a lot.
Yes,
Actually, a couple of slides for me to sensitize all of you. May I know the background of the participants? They all are from pharmacy background, or
the pharmacy background.
Pharmacy background and PG as well as
yes.
PhD also. PG students
Yes,
also, PhD also will be attending. Correct. So my plan would be,
members are.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I think faculties are also attending. Good. So here you might be aware that various. Just a minute, I will share my slide. Yeah. So can you see my slide actually?
Yes, sir.
You can see my slide, right?
Yes, yes.
Thanks a lot. So basically, I would like to brief you about something about the Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, which is an organization under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, responsible for promoting the quality, safety, and rational use of medical products. We are responsible to produce, or we are responsible to publish a book of standards called Indian Pharmacopoeia at regular intervals, and we are also responsible for implementing the programs like Pharmacovigilance Program of India and Material-Vigilance Program of India, actually to monitor the safety of medicine and medical devices respectively. So we have a huge responsibility in this area as well. So now how research based things can happen in these two activities, like bringing out the Indian Pharmacopoeia and coordinating the pharmacovigilance. Now if you ask me, what is the scope for doing research, or what is the new thing we can do in this area, two areas? Actually, we have a lot of scope for doing this research. Maybe pardon? Hello?
Sir, the full screen view of the slide is not there. The size
okay.
is small.
Just a minute. Give me a minute. Let me check. Still a full screen is not there, right?
No, sir.
1 minute. 1 minute. I will help you. Full screen. Up now. Can you see full slide now?
No, sir.
No.
So on right side and bottom there is option. Right side bottom.
Yeah, guys, just a minute. I will update you.
Right side bottom third option. Huh? So right side on the right side bottom third option. Icon is there.
Just a minute. I'm doing that.
So with F5 you can also do this.
Can you see now?
It's visible now. Okay, sir.
Can you able to see now or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I was trying to tell you that to have a to start a research in the pharmacovigilance or the material vigilance or the quality standards related areas of IPC, we have a lot of scope for to doing the research, basic research, operational research, etc. I'll tell you how to do that. And before that, this is a quick update about the programs like pharmacovigilance and material vigilance program of India to monitor the safety of medical devices. Actually, we have a full support from the government patronage is there because these two programs are functioning under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, basically to generate evidence-based adverse drug reactions related to drugs or devices. So this is how both the pharmacovigilance is doing. So then we have a national coordinating center like Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission is coordinating these two programs as a national coordinating center. So I would like to say here that we have a functional national center for pharmacovigilance. Basically, the pharmacovigilance or material vigilance, as I told you, continuously we need to generate adverse drug reaction or safety data. So that we know that during the clinical trial, different phases of the clinical trial, the medicine safety is established in a limited number of patients only. I mean, the efficacy is demonstrated in a very controlled manner and also in a selected patients. Patient number also very less. But when a medicine is marketed, it is being administered to a larger population, large group of population. So then we may anticipate some, relatively higher number of adverse drug reactions, and even some of the adverse events may not be captured during the clinical trial. So this is what the pharmacovigilance or medical devices system is working with us to generate the adverse drug reaction. So we have a national coordinating center. We are coordinating that part as an IPCS center. Now you can imagine how much amount of research needs to be done. I mean, active surveillance needs to be done. Currently, what we do, it's a passive surveillance or spontaneous reporting. When an adverse event is happened, just we are reporting. Otherwise, no. But we have to closely watch, closely monitor the safety of each medicine through research-based approach only. Of course, spontaneous reporting system, what we have currently is a very cheap, very established, very stable method of collecting the adverse reaction. But sometimes we may miss out the actual adverse event because we do not have, doctors may not have a time to report, or maybe other issues. So we as a professionals, we can monitor these medicines through our research-based or focused monitoring of such medicines, right? And another important thing for these two programs, like we have a Indian National Regulatory Authority, that is approving authority, Central Drug Standard Control Organization, Central Licensing Authority for monitoring and regulatory action based approach. And we have a legislation, we have a Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 and Rules 1945. Thereunder, the provisions are there for adverse event monitoring. And the MDR, that is Medical Devices Rule 2017, also being introduced for monitoring the safety of. Well, when you want to make any kind of research, since the topic today we are discussing about how we can initiate a research, operational research. Here I would like to say, as per the WHO definition, vigilance for pharmacovigilance means the safety monitoring needs to be performed for the drugs, vaccines, medical devices, and also traditional system of medicine. So when you talk about safety, yes, these are the four important area medical products we have to see. And here you can take lot of initiatives on research based one. Of course, if you take traditional system of medicine, we have limited number of research based evidence for the adverse drug reactions monitoring. And then, for example, if you ask me drugs, we have sufficient data for you know adverse drug reactions for drugs, allopathic drugs, and we are also trying to get number of adverse events with the use of medical devices and vaccines also. And traditional system of medicine, we believe that traditional system of medicine is safe. Of course, it is safe if it is practiced judiciously. Of course, it is safe if traditional medicines are administered or used more scientific manner. There are number of reasons why we need to have a study or research based approach or evidence based approach for traditional medicine. Maybe because of the contaminants present in the traditional system of medicine. Contaminants means like pesticides level, heavy metal content, aflatoxins. There are many other contaminants and even adulterants also maybe and one of the factor or root cause for causing the adverse drug reactions. So here we require a lot of approach or maybe an operational kind of study. How we are monitoring the safety. We need to assess the safe, heavy metal content in the traditional system of medicine, and then we have to generate an data for this traditional system of medicine. So when we are planning for any research, maybe for a research project for MPharm or research project for PhD, or even when you are applying for some funding, so that we have a lot of scope for doing the research in this area, particularly for medical devices. Again, I would like to tell you, there are ample of opportunities for doing the research in the medical devices. You can plan, you can design this kind of projects for your MPharm or PhD. Say, for example, orthopedic implants, medical devices. This is one of the very important orthopedic implants. There are number of chances of adverse drug reactions with the use of orthopedic implants because it requires a lot of time to monitor the safety of safety. It cannot be reported immediately. You require longer period, longer time to monitor the safety of medical devices. Say, for example, metal leaching would be a problem. Cobalt or nickel would be a main cobalt or nickel, which is the common materials used in the hip implant or orthopedic implant. If the quality of metal or nickel or cadmium, any materials used in the plate or orthopedic implants, then what will happen? The metal leaching would takes place. Then metal leaching would enter into the blood circulation, bloodstream. It will cause a lot of toxicity, metal toxicity. That is called metallosis. Then naturally, because of the metallosis, inflammation, then other adverse events may take place. So it may lead to severe burden to the patient. But here we require some science-based evidence, because how we are going to, evaluate the metal toxicity in the blood. So you have to take the sample and you have to estimate the cobalt or nickel or cadmium, whatever element, metals present in the blood sample, and which needs to be estimated. So this is one of the example where we can initiate a research-based approach for the use as well as safety of medical devices. So I think it's one of the opportunity for all of us to take a research-based approach of medical devices. I think this is the definition. Actually, this new scope for the pharmacy professionals as well, to develop your career in the medical device sector, and also for carrying out a research in this area. Actually, this is the new definition, new rule of medical devices, which is being introduced in the country, Medical Device Rule 2017. As per this rule, all the medical devices are approved as drugs only, are considered as drugs. Whatever the device which are maybe used in the used maybe for the diagnosis, treatment, or prevention, all such the devices are considered as drugs, are approved as a drugs medical devices. Now there is a lot of chance for all of us to do a research or build your career in the medical device sector. Actually, as per the definition, these are the class of medical devices. Maybe a low risk medical devices, moderate risk medical devices, high risk medical devices. And then we have high end medical devices, that is called class D medical devices, where you can find an example of cardiac stents, cochlear implants, defibrillator, etc. So really, for high risk medical devices, we require a lot of research based monitoring. Of course, the safety of other medical devices is also paramount for us, but this high end medical devices are also considered as an implants. So we need to have more focus on this part, safety of this medical devices. So the program, what I am trying to convey to you, this is the operational point. What I'm saying, I'm trying to do is the Material Vigilance Program of India under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, functioning to monitor the safety of medical devices. This monitoring can be done through research-based approach or spontaneous approach or focused approach, etc. Then you need to detect the adverse events which are come across in the patient. You need to detect, and you need to assess whether it's related to medical device or related to drug. If it is drug, you have to assess the adverse event because of the drug which we have taken, or maybe disease, or any other factor. So that is called assessment. Then you need to understand first what to be done, whether it is a preventable, what action you require. Then you communicate accordingly to the authority or to the hospital. This is how the entire operational aspects of both the programs are doing. Let it be a pharmacovigilance program or let it be a material vigilance. So this is the operational one. And this is about the reporting part is concerned. I think we as a pharmacist, we may able to tell our students, or we may able to communicate to the community, or we may able to take some kind of adverse event monitoring and reporting, right? So the basic system is like this. We have a reporting tools are available, sir. For example, for drugs, the suspected ADR reporting form is introduced. Or for medical devices, the reporting form is also available, separate reporting form. By using this form also, you can take number of, you can circulate this form among the healthcare professionals, and you can ask them to report if anything is there, any adverse events. It's not necessary to collect the adverse event only in the multi-specialty or district level hospital. Even the practice of adverse event reporting can start from the primary health center. Say, for example, during the COVID pandemic, the vaccines like Covaxin or Covishield vaccine are being used even in the primary health center. So the responsibility of monitoring or reporting adverse events starts from the community level. So we are here to convey the concept to the public as well as society or community that of course every medicine is beneficial, every medical device is beneficial used for the disease management or prevention or treatment, but equally it is very important to understand the risk also. No medicine is free from side effect or adverse drug reaction, adverse event, but we have to understand that in order to achieve a 100% hope I'm audible. I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Organizers, is there any problem? Please let me know. I'm continuously talking, but
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
okay, thanks a lot. So I mean to say that here, the practice of adverse event monitoring and reporting can be initiated even from at the primary health center level. We need to know that every medicine is having their own benefit and risks also, a certain amount of risk. But we have to see whether the benefit of a medicine is more or risk is more. So even if somebody is taking a traditional system of medicine also, we have to watch. We should not have any perception that since we are taking traditional system of medicine or herbal medicine or homeopathic medicine, we should not anticipate. We should anticipate that it is 100% safe. There might be some kind of risk or adverse events, even maybe with the use of traditional system of medicine or homeopathy, because of various reasons. It may be not necessary to only the quality of the product. It may be drug-drug interaction or drug-food interaction. Say, for example, the patient might have taken traditional medicine along with some kind of allopathic medicine. So there may be a chance of adverse drug reaction. Here we cannot blame the allopathic medicine is causing this adverse event or traditional system of medicine is causing adverse event. So there is the chance of drug interaction, drug food interaction, or route of administration. You know, so many reasons are there. So this is how the entire system, medical devices system or pharmacovigilance system will analyze all such event and taking final decision to the authority. And when we talk about the reporting system is concerned, we have reporting part. Who can report an adverse drug reaction for drugs or devices? This is our team actually. So when you plan any kind of research or study or project for adverse event monitoring, you always should have a plan to interact with a team of doctors, that is clinical specialist, maybe a clinical specialist, maybe ophthalmologist or maybe cardiologist. That depends upon the topic which you are selecting. Say for example, if in case if you selected a study proposal or study project on monitoring the safety of cardiac stents, then definitely you need to have a collaboration or support with the interventional cardiologist or other cardiologist, technician, biomedical engineers, patients, nurses. Of course, everyone should taken into confidence. In case you study your studies plan to focus on the safety of ocular products, this cataract lens, then naturally, certainly, ophthalmologist should be on board, right? So this is the team of people actually who have to collaborate with each other. Say for example, you need to you need to monitor the performance of a ventilator, or you are supposed to monitor the performance and safety of pacemaker. Then again, the technicians, biomedical engineers are very much required, right? So the pharmacists, naturally everywhere pharmacists will be there for if they have basic understanding, pharmacists also to be included in the study. And what is your plan when you plan this kind of study? are we going to focus only the seriousness of adverse events or non-serious event? So according to the the guideline, we have to focus both serious nature of the adverse events, serious adverse events such as death, hospitalization, life-threatening, etc., permanent disability, all considered as serious nature. And similarly, non-serious adverse events also to be noted and captured in your study. And another thing, whether the approval from the ethics committee, institutional ethics committee, this all will to be considered. Say, for example, spontaneous reporting of adverse drug reactions or survey-based study. I don't think ethics committee approval is required. But when you plan something in the hospital, then I think institutional ethics committee approval also required, right? So this is one thing. And the reporting form, in case if you are planned to collect an adverse events with the use of drugs or devices, there are certain basic and minimum, of course, essential information is required for collecting general information about the patient, like the date of reports, follow-up or initial, and then reporter detail, whether reporter is who is reporting, whether pharmacist is reporting or doctor is reporting. So all such things needs to be considered. So I think this is something more technical in nature when you plan a study. So the information required to be collected in the reporting form goes this way, and naturally the end point and final step would be the assessment of the report. Really the adverse drug reaction is because of the medicine or other root cause. That is how the assessment, causality assessment, and it's really a technical in nature and very important as well. It requires a lot of training and practice. Of course, here there are certain differences I would like to show here, how the pattern of adverse drug reaction with respect to drugs and devices. There are certain similarities when it comes to the adverse drug reaction monitoring for the drugs or device. There are certain commonalities and certain differences. If you look at the commonalities, like for both the drugs and devices, the serious adverse events are common for both and devices, like as I told you, death, prolonged hospitalization, congenital anomaly, etc. But there are certain differences, like drugs are always based on the chemistry and pharmacological nature. But in devices based on the engineering, it may be electrical engineering or electronic engineering or even bioclinical or biomedical engineering is involved. And in case of adverse drug reaction, the very important difference between the adverse event monitoring and analyzing between the drugs and device, like in drugs, local and systemic toxicity is an important mechanism for adverse event reporting. Whereas in case of devices, biocompatibility and product sterilization, these two are very important because most of the products should be sterile in nature. Say, for example, ocular products, it should be highly sterile in nature. If a product is contaminated, then there may be a chance of, adverse event. Like, so these are the quick summary how we can differentiate these two things in terms of adverse event monitoring and reporting. And when you plan such study, and the responsibility, as I mentioned in the previous slide also, we have to have a team of experts. Say, for example, if you look at the first 5 medical devices like bone marrow biopsy needle, drug-eluting stent, heart valve, hip implant, intraocular lenses, and intrauterine contraceptive devices, because these are the products where doctor or pharmacist nurses can handle and they can observe and they can inform, or I mean, they can monitor the adverse events because it's their subject domain. Whereas other medical devices such as arterial blood gas machine, incubator, in vitro diagnostics such as the diagnostic kits, even the diagnostic kits which are used during the COVID diagnosis also. You might have seen, of course, each one of us may be experienced badly with the current COVID pandemic, and we might be familiar with the procedures, in vitro diagnostic kits used in the diagnosis. Not only COVID, there are other diagnostic kits also used in TB diagnosis, HIV diagnosis. So all such devices are medical devices. In case the devices are not functioning, in vitro diagnostic kits are not doing well, some error are reported, then naturally biomedical engineers are responsible. I mean, they are the custodian. They can able to do better than us. So these are the such devices. We may not able to enter and do the assessment, and it is their scope. So when we as a pharmacist, if you plan some kind of research or when you want to monitor something related to medical devices, so you have to look at what are the devices under our purview within our range with our subject experts. We have some basic knowledge. Then you can select such medical devices. I think this is the field safety corrective action form. If a medical device is not performing, then it is the responsibility of the manufacturers to inform, to use this form and to fill the information that particular batch or particular device is not doing well, so that is being recalled from the market, and what kind of corrective action. I request the esteemed colleagues, faculty members, those who are sitting in this conference today, request you to kindly provide this Google form. This is about the Material Vigilance Program of India (MVPI), knowledge, attitude, and practice survey-based study. This questionnaire is available in our website, IPC website, that is www.ipc.gov.in. You can use the IPC platform and you can assess the study, Material Vigilance Program of India. Healthcare professionals are requested. There will be a link called healthcare professionals are requested to fill the questionnaire-based study on material vigilance. It's a voluntary approach. Your support really is going to help us not only in effective implementation of this program, also will help us in the planning or policy level issues, because this data is very much required for us, very important for us, of course. So it may be useful if you provide this kind of knowledge-based survey. So this is one example. Like this, you can also initiate some kind of knowledge-based survey. Say, for example, when you want to initiate some research-based study, this is kind of awareness and how it is being practiced. So you can develop a questionnaire for your subject if you want to develop some kind of study. Say, for example, among your hospital or your state or the region of Yamuna Nagar, how many of the community or how many of the doctors are aware about pharmacovigilance or aware about some issue or some technical things? You can develop a questionnaire and you can circulate to them, and you collect the data and you analyze it. So this questionnaire based study will help us in improving further. It's a kind of feedback. Of course, it's a study also. So that, say, for example, if we understand from the group today, there are 40 or 50 participants. Say, for example, 100 participants are here. Among the 100 participants, how many of the participants are aware of the material vigilance program or pharmacovigilance program? If all of them are aware, it is good that the awareness is good. What next we should do? Or say, for example, today we have 100 participants. Only only 50 participants are aware, remaining 50 participants are not aware. Then we have to plan how we are going to make aware of the remaining 50 and how we are going to actively participate in this program. So this kind of questionnaires will help us in many ways. I think this is one of the study. You can also plan whatever the subject you want to select, you can select, but you plan a questionnaire, you prepare a questionnaire. So this link you can use and you can provide your information, right? Well, so when we talk about this medical devices or pharmacovigilance, of course, there are a lot of challenges are there still. Say, for example, adverse event reporting, how we are going to improve the adverse event reporting. We have a reporting form, as I briefly told you about the reporting forms are available. Do this reporting form is sufficient? No. We need to have reporting form is a one conventional form and it consumes a lot of time. So what we should do, we have to develop alternative methods for enhancing the report. Like we have introduced mobile app, online reporting, etc. So that is one of the things we should understand first. Then second part would be data analysis. Another one, database. Whether we have a national database for monitoring adverse reaction. Yes, we have a national database. We are analyzing that using this database. That is being used for other national level as well as international level. We are also in the process of working the CRM database, that is Southeast Asia Regulators Network for the Southeast Asian countries. How the pharmacovigilance and material vigilance software can be developed for these countries. And of course, all these data are going to the global database, WHO database. So these are the challenges always. Data review would be the challenge. And then whether we have a sufficient data for analyze or not. So all such factors are the challenges as of now. I think my job, I have presented my slides actually. Now I think I may if you have any questions, please you can put forward. I think my presentation is over. What we can do now, if we have any discussion, because I thought let me present quickly, then I think we can take some time for discussion actually. If I'm sure the faculty members or delegates, if they have some questions, it's fine for me to discuss for 10 to 15 minutes.
If any faculty member has any of the questions, can ask.
So basically, I would like to highlight here that there are a lot of scope for taking the research in pharmacovigilance or material vigilance. There are before clinical trial, you might be knowing that in vitro studies and in vivo studies, you all might be familiar with these two kind of studies, in vitro and in vivo, before approving this drug in the market. Then after completing, after demonstrating the efficacy of a product during your in vivo and in vitro study, then with this data, you can submit the proposal to the DCGI for clinical trial. So that is another kind of area for drug discovery or drug development. But what we are talking today, this is post-marketing surveillance. After the product is approved in the market also, we require some kind of research or continuous study is required. Up to the clinical trial, yes, we have done, and the product is launched into the market. And after launching also, maybe for 10 years, if you look at if a medicine is used prolonged period of time, we may come across some more adverse drug reactions. So therefore, post-marketing, after approval also, there must be some kind of study. That is what this active surveillance, passive surveillance, questionnaire-based study. So all will come into practice, right? Hope I have conveyed something. I don't know whether you all you got it or not, but if any clarity, if you required, you're most welcome. Yeah.
Is there any question?
Thanks. If
Of
no
any-
question.
How would you define active surveillance and passive surveillance?
Yeah, very good question. Passive surveillance means we are not planning anything. Say, for example, if adverse spontaneous reporting, when a medicine is given to the patient, if any adverse event happened, just we are reporting. That is passive surveillance or spontaneous reporting. Active surveillance means we are planning the study before starting the treatment. Before treatment initiation, we are planning. Say, for example, now we take Covaxin or Covishield. Before introducing this vaccine or before introducing this drug, we are planning, yes, how many patients are going to be enrolled in the study or how many number of doses are going to be administered. And we have a baseline value in active surveillance. We have a baseline value. I mean, we have a total number of patients enrolled and total number of doses administered. This kind of data baseline value is available in active surveillance. But passive surveillance, there is no baseline. Say, for example, the paracetamol, you take paracetamol related adverse events. This is you can't do active surveillance for paracetamol. You don't know it is being administered for multiple indications, right? And there is no baseline for paracetamol. And if you ask me baseline for Covishield, yes, we have a baseline value. We have a number of data. So this is the different. Active surveillance means it's a planned study. We are planning before the treatment is initiation.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, madam. You are welcome.
Sir, one more question.
Yes, sir.
Sir, how we can incorporate a monograph of a pharmaceutical compound? Phytochemical.
Great. So the monograph inclusion in Indian Pharmacopoeia, we have certain criteria for inclusion as a monograph. Now you ask me.
In terms of phytochemicals.
Yeah. That is what I'm saying. For phytopharmaceutical monograph also, we have very well defined inclusion criteria. One is the plant botanical drug should have a known phytochemical marker, phytomarker.
Yeah, sir.
That is the first criteria. Known phytochemical marker, biomarker.
Okay.
Then second one, the clinical, medicinal value of this plant or phytochemical.
Okay.
Whether this is the second criteria, whether the drug or the phytochemical present in this botanical drug, what is its clinical efficacy, biological value, that is called biomarker. Then third one, relevant to Indian context, commercially available.
Okay.
And then established analytical procedure for marker compound characterization.
Okay, sir.
So all these parameters will be applicable for phytochemical. If you want to include any, maybe you might have some research or you might have did some study on some monograph, some drugs, botanical drugs, and you have some data.
Yes.
Now you want to include this in an Indian Pharmacopoeia as a monograph, right? So these are the criteria or parameters are applied for including in monograph for phytochemical drugs.
Okay, sir.
And for allopathic, we have different chemical monograph. Say, for example, molnupiravir, which is recently approved for treatment of COVID, management of COVID. So if you ask me, we want to include molnupiravir monograph in IP, then we have to see whether this drug is approved by DCG or not. Whether only monopoly, whether it's a generic drug or patent drug. How many manufacturers are available in the country? And third criteria, whether really it is required for or not. At this point of time, yes, it is required. Even one manufacturer also sufficient because this is the highly priority drug for the nation. So these are the criteria will be applied for chemical molecule.
Suppose, sir, we have some phytochemicals with us, and we have performed their analytical procedures, and the same phytochemical is also well known in terms of activity as well as the toxicity profile. Then my question is that how can we proceed to get the same in the inclusion of IP? or is there some separate for
Yeah.
the phytochemicals? Yeah.
No, there is no separate. If you have such data, you can check with the existing list of monographs in IP. We have 70 plus cerebral drugs monographs are available in IP. And you see what is your plant, whether already your plant is there in IP monograph or not. First you check. I don't know which plant you're talking. You check the list of the already existing monograph in IP. If it is there, well and good. If it is not there, just you provide the data to us. We will verify the data in our laboratory.
Okay.
Then, and we will see the inclusion criteria of monograph. Then it will be published as a monograph, and the contribution of yours will be acknowledged in IP.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Welcome. You are welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot.
And now I would like to invite Dr. Ashwini Dhingra, HOD, Guru Gobind Singh College of Pharmacy, to give vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Guru Gobind Singh College of Pharmacy, with due respect, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Dr. V. Calcium, for sharing his valuable knowledge in this 6-day online AICTE ISTE sponsored program on an interesting topic, that is medical devices safety monitoring and adverse drug reactions. I appreciate your valuable thought and knowledge, sir. Your expert talk has provided us with the guidelines involved in the safety of medical devices. We hope that this kindness and cooperation will remain to continue in the future. Your kind presence and expert talk in this program encouraging us a lot about selecting our research methodology during the research progress. Thank you once again, sir.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And before to leave, I request again that questionnaire-based study. I share the link is available in the website. So whenever you have time, kindly do that needful, because it's a national cost. This is for the national importance. Whenever you have time, faculty members and the students also can provide those questionnaires to us. It's a Google form. It is available in the website. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It will be on the screen. Sir, as a token of appreciation, we would also like to present a certificate to you. So it will be on the screen soon. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
All the participants, the next session will be at 11:30. So we will join at 11:20 with the same link. So please join with the same link at 11:20.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.